guys, it's Ava, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm gonna be watching the scariest short stories that I could find on TikTok. So I literally just searched scariest stories ever, and we're just gonna scroll, and I didn't like watch these before recording or anything. Also, the people who made those videos, their names are gonna be on the screen recording. Check out their account and give the video a like over on their page just to credit the people making the videos we're watching today. Now, let's watch the first one.
Do not listen to this story, and I think this is the scariest one I've gotten so far for spooky scary story time. And honestly, I hate this story. When I read it, the hair on my arms was like standing on end, but I'm gonna share it anyway. Just watch it in the daytime, so save it for later if you need to, but literally don't watch it at night because I did and it freaked me out. The story was submitted by this guy named Tom, who told me he wanted to tell me about his experience moving with his girlfriend during 2020. Tom is obviously—
Oh, okay, so she's telling another person's story that DM'd her.
So Tom and this girl, Michelle, are dating for like 3 years. They're living in a big city. I don't know which one he didn't say. They live a really good, comfortable life. Tom works in IT, and his girlfriend, Michelle, is an instructor at a yoga studio, and they both do pretty well.
Okay, I love that.
Really healthy, really fit. They love being social, going out.
Good for them.
No mental health issues at all, right? Tom also said that Michelle made a lot of money on social media. She was sort of an influencer, and she did a lot with different fitness brands, and she would film a lot in her studio. 2020 hits, and Michelle is immediately laid off because the yoga studio closed, but Tom was able to work remotely because he was doing that mostly anyway. Their apartment is really expensive, and their lease is coming up, and they basically decide that they want a quieter life because they don't know how long everything that was going on in 2020 was going to last. So they ended up signing a lease for a place that was about 50 minutes outside the city in more of like a rural area. He said it was still kind of suburban, like there were stores around and places for them to go and get groceries, like not super country, definitely not what they were used to in the city. And when they moved out there, they were really excited because it was a change of scenery for them, and they were saving money to buy a house. So rent was a lot cheaper, and they were both happy with the move.
I'm gonna put this on 2x because it's very long.
Michelle has the spare bedroom as her yoga studio where she's going to continue filming content, and things seemed perfect. A couple months after they moved, Michelle decides that she wants to get into gardening. She's obviously already really into healthy fitness and wellness, but she decided she wanted to be more into sustainability and was starting to like make more videos about sustainability. So
okay, lifestyle change.
Dig a pit where they're going to start a compost pile. And Michelle's out in the yard, and she's like planting some vegetables that she'd gotten, and Tom calls her over because the shovel hits this metal box. So she comes over to look, and they pull out this, he described it as maybe like a 12 by 6 just metal cash box, and it's all dirty and rusty, but they pull it out, and Michelle opens it, and inside is a Ouija board.
Hell no! If you guys haven't learned from the stories on the internet, let me just tell you, not firsthand, because I know better than to touch that, but do not play with Ouija boards. It's not cool. It's not fun. You're gonna open up something that you cannot close, so just don't do it.
And Michelle's like, oh my god, this is so cool. I want to make some videos on it. And she takes it out and walks back out on the patio with it and starts like dusting it off on the patio table. They kind of leave it out there, forget about it. And later that night, Michelle's like, oh, do you want to go play with the Ouija board? And Tom's like, not really, like, you know.
Absolutely not. You see, that's where you went wrong.
So she's like, well, I'm just going to play with it if you want to. And he's like, okay, whatever. He just stayed inside and watched TV. The next day they wake up, Tom logs into his computer to start work, and Michelle, he said, it's kind of just groggy, which is pretty out of character for her because she's normally pretty bouncy. She was a morning person. She would always wake up like 6 a.m. with it, but she's just like slinking around the kitchen. And he's like, are you okay? She's like, I just don't feel well. She's like, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Why anyone would ever touch that?
I'm going to go to the store and get some painting supplies. And he's like, okay, cool. He's working. She comes home with like a bunch of canvases and some paint. And she basically converts like half of her yoga studio into this painting area. And she spends the rest of the day doing that. The next day, same thing. She just wants to paint. She's not really feeling well. Doesn't feel like making content. Doesn't feel like doing yoga. This is after like a weekend one night he wakes up and she's not in bed. So he gets up to go to the bathroom, and then he notices that she's not in the house. So he sees the patio light is on, and he walks to the back door and he looks out, and he sees her sitting at the patio table playing Ouija board. And he opens the door and Michelle comes inside like, what are you doing? And she's just like, oh, like I just wanted to see if I would get anything. And he gets this unsettled, anxious feeling in the pit of his stomach. Now he really
hell no.
The next day she's painting, and he walks in the room, and he's like, hey, like I think we should talk about the Ouija board. I don't think you should have it. Like, I think you should get rid of it. I don't really like the idea of it in our house. And she's like, you're being dramatic. You know, I'm going through something. Like, it's a fun activity for me. I have a lot of fun. My job was shut down. And so he just drops it. He's like, okay, you're right. Like, I'm overreacting. So later he feels kind of bad. He goes back in her studio, and she's still sitting there in silence painting. And he said on the canvas there's just a bunch of triangles that were all overlapping all over. And he basically tells her that he feels like they haven't really had a good like date night, obviously since 2020 started. He's like, why don't we have a fire in the backyard? We can just like grill some food. Like, it'll just be really fun. And she just tells him that no, like she just wants to paint. So he goes to bed.
Oh, what the hell?
So he wakes up in the middle of the night, and she's still not in bed, and he hears her talking. So he goes, okay, well she's just making a video. So he peeks into her yoga studio, and she's not making a video. She is still painting, but now she's painted off the canvases onto the walls, and still the same overlapping triangles on every side.
Hell no, absolutely not. I'd be out of there so fast.
She realizes like she is not right. Like she's having some kind of mental break. So the next day they wake up, same thing. She wants to paint, and he calls her mom, and he basically tells her mom that Michelle is going through something, and she needs to snap out of it. And he asks her mom if she'll come and stay with them. Her mom has nothing going on, guys, because the next day she comes and stays with them. And Michelle seems normal when her mom is there. Like she basically pulls Tom aside, and she said, I know you call me. Like obviously I'm happy to spend time with you guys, but she seems normal to me. And Tom's like, she's not normal. Definitely she's not normal. That night her mom comes and wakes Tom up because Michelle is back outside playing Ouija board again. And her mom is super religious, so she does not like the Ouija board idea at all. She's like, you guys need to get rid of it. Like, why did you get rid of this? Tom's like, I didn't get it for. Like we found it in the yard. Mom's like, oh my god, you found it in the yard. And she's like, we are getting rid of this right now. Like we are gonna burn it. And she makes Tom make her a fire where they burn the Ouija board. And Michelle just maintains that you guys are overreacting. Like this is just like a fun activity. Like it's not even serious. Doesn't have any strong reaction to them burning the Ouija board aside from just like being annoyed. So it's the next night. Her mom's gonna leave the next day, and Tom wakes up in the middle of the night to her mom screaming, and he runs out the hallway, and he sees Michelle sitting in the dark, facing the wall, just at the end of the hallway, facing away from them, sitting cross-legged, staring at the wall. And her mom is yelling.
Hell no.
And Michelle does not react. Like she can't hear them. She's just repeating, they're gonna come in, they're gonna come in, they're gonna come in. So Tom runs over, grabs her, picks her up, and like basically shakes her. She snaps out of it, and she's like, what's going on? And they're like, you were literally just talking to the wall. So her mom's had enough. She decides that she's going to bring Michelle home with her. She's like, I need to take her to church. Like I don't like this. And Tom can't really argue with her. Everybody is attributing this to a psychological break from the stresses of COVID and her being laid off. Tom is beside himself, but
it's not just that.
Mom is clear to visit her, so he packs up, drives out to the mental hospital. She's sitting in this cool toned room in a rocking chair, and he gets there, and he walks up to her, and he says, hey, how are you doing? And she just looks at him and says, you brought them with you. Oh my god, that freaked me out so bad when I read that.
Oh!
Stories.
I did not like that.
She does not do yoga anymore. She does not make content. He said she has completely lost her mind and barely recognizes him when he goes to see her. Really good one that someone sent me. I will be adding to this. Do not.
I really hope that's not a true story. I wasn't even gonna tell this story. I was just... Are you for real? The scariest thing about this video is me seeing myself come up. If you haven't seen my TikTok on my scary story, go watch it. It's so terrifying. It actually really freaked me out, but anyways. Sleep paralysis freaks me out. Let's watch this one.
One of the scariest, most tormented things that happened to me was getting sleep paralysis for 1 month straight. I'm not even kidding you. I got it for the whole month of February. But I'm telling you about night 28 because that sends chills all the way down to my marrow.
Sorry if you guys don't like the fact that I watch these videos on 2x. Like, I just feel like all of these videos are so long and I want to like make this video not super long. But like, this is also like how I watch videos on a daily basis too, so.
Paralysis all my life, but it's the same figure. So much so that it has a name. It's named Robert. I don't know how to explain that it feels like it's male. I just know that I don't feel safe around it. Robert never moves. He just stands in the corner of my room where the hinges of my door is and just watches me. I don't know, but he just stands there. On night 28, Robert moved, and he moved to the side of my bed and hovered over me like this.
Ew.
He moved statically. So the best I can describe it is, you know, stop motion film, how their movements aren't fluid. He just buffered closer and closer to the edge of my bed. And then I heard Robert's voice for the first time, and I watched enough horror movies to know that Robert was speaking demon. It wasn't gibberish because there was too much pronunciation, so I would say like a long lost language sounds more suitable. But the point is I understood it, and I'm bilingual, but in English and Korean, not Robert's tongue. Robert was saying, I'm your father, who needs to go, I'm your father, who needs to go, I'm your father. Just repeating that. The more Robert repeated it, the more it started sounding like my dad's voice. And at that point, I started praying to every god, hoping that one was still clocked in. But I don't think Robert liked that very much. I think it triggered him because he got physical with me. He grabbed my arm and laid on top of me and was screaming at this point. Okay, this part I really don't know how to explain it, except to say like, while Robert was obstructing my airway on top of me, he was also crawling all over my walls. It sounds crazy, but you just have to be there. And then his zoomies came to an end, but he stopped right above my head. So imagine me laying down and Robert right above my head, but his body is on the wall on my foot. And then he screamed, "You're coming with me." But as soon as he said that, I woke up to my dad.
I don't want to imagine that.
I was a little sus because Robert was saying that he wasn't my dad or whatnot. And so I was looking at my dad like, who are you? What are you? But then my dad did something that he never has done before and called me by my middle name, Jen. And I was like, that's weird. But it must be you. And then he proceeded to tell me that he had a nightmare in which something was trying to take me away from him. He was holding me like this, you know, on for dear life. But something was like trying to lead me away. He came into my room to check up on me.
What in the world?
I had my eyes closed, but I was crying so much that the sides of my pillows were wet, and I was mumbling, which is down in Korean. Next day, my dad and I, with a little recap, but tell me why he described Robert to a T, and I've never described Robert to my dad.
That is terrifying. That reminds me of a story I want to tell you guys. Just a little story from my childhood. I've always known about like paranormal, like spiritual stuff, you know, stuff like that. I've obviously made videos about it before, like this is nothing new. I might have told this in a video before, but like I'm sitting down talking to my mom and my boyfriend the one day because he was telling us like one of his paranormal experiences, right? And then my mom starts telling me about how I used to like see things as a child and I used to like report back to her. I was like, oh, I just saw this, this, and this. And she's scared of ghosts, so she was just terrified. She believed me. She never made it seem like she didn't believe me. She just really didn't want it to be true. You know what I mean? So we're all sitting down, we're talking. He finished his story. So my mom starts telling me about like different stuff that I would report back to her. She was like, you used to see this man and like you used to say like, oh, I saw him here, I saw him, like whatever she said. I don't even remember word for word, but she just told me that I used to report back to her seeing this man. That wasn't there. Very obviously was not there because we were in my house with our alarm system. Like no one broke in. It's not one of those situations, right? We move on from this, like sitting there and I'm just like still in shock. I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean I was reporting back to you seeing a man? Cause like I was really freaked out. Like I didn't remember any of this. So I interrupted the conversation. I'm like, I'm sorry, real quick. I'm still stuck on the man with the top hat. My boyfriend and my mom both look at me. My mom goes, I never said anything about a top hat. Oh, I just got chills. I just figured I'd share a cute little terrifying story of my own while we're watching a bunch of scary stories. Anyways, back to the stories.
So I have a scary story time that I highly don't recommend for you to play out in the open.
Okay, then we're not gonna do that because I listen when people tell me not to do things. I will be getting my AirPods for this one and I will insert the video in here because now I'm curious, I'm intrigued, I want to know. I can't find my AirPods. I know I put my AirPods somewhere in here. You know what? I know I put my AirPods over there and now I can't find them. So I'm just gonna take that as my sign to not watch this video. For whatever reason, right here my screen recording stopped. I don't know why, but I've been having a bunch of technical issues with this video, which is really weird to me. So if you see like the TikToks like in the wrong spot like a little bit or they're a little sped up and the audio's different, like, just keep in mind that my screen recording failed. I'm sorry. I try to like have everything perfect for these videos, but like sometimes you just run into technical difficulties. Sorry about that, and I'll try to edit them the best I can.
It's not the dead you should be afraid of. It's the ones that are alive that will kill you.
Okay.
Wait till you hear this story. Oh my god, chill.
I know people think when I tell the stories like this girl is chasing, she reaching, or not. Okay, so we had a pastoral banquet, our pastoral anniversary banquet. And so it was on a Sunday, last day of the banquet. And we got the chairs from no other place than a funeral home. So turned the chairs, of course, back to the funeral home. But my mom called the lady like, hey, we get ready to bring the chairs. And so the lady was like, just take the chairs, drive around to the back and put them on the, by the door on the back because no one is there because we're at a funeral. remember that part, okay? Cool.
Oh no. Yeah, I know where this is going.
Because she said there's nobody there. Okay, great. We unloaded the chairs and everything. And then I said, Ma, I think I seen that curtain move right there. I guess you didn't hear me because she kept unloading everything and, you know, just going on. And then after that, somebody opened the door. This big brown skinned bald head guy opened the door, heavy set. And Mom was like, oh, you scared me. That man said, oh, I was just sleeping.
Nope. Yeah, he was taking a dirt nap. Get out of there.
And then he goes to say, it's not the dead you should be afraid of. It's the ones that are alive that will kill you. Anyways, Mama should go ahead, boom, unload the chairs, whatever. And the man proceeds to get the chairs from us and take them inside. But here's the thing. Whole time the man was unloading the chairs, he never got the chairs off the truck. He only put the chairs inside of the funeral home. So he never, like, stepped out of the funeral home. Because he can't, like, step out of... But, you know, we paying no mind, whatever. Y'all have a blessed day now. Get in the car, Mom probably got 30 seconds down the road and had to pull over at a gas station because she literally was scared shitless.
Yeah, she should be. Because what?
Literally had to go take a shit. Our encounterment to a family member. And, my aunt, she's very nosy, very nosy. So she, not called up to the place, she goes up to the place. And was like, oh, you know, I just came to let you know that my sister dropped the chairs out. And the lady said, yeah, we got her from off the back porch. My aunt like, no, you know, the man helped her put them on the inside. The lady said, what man? She like,
yeah, no.
The man that was here with the suit on. This man had on a suit. And his tie was untied. He had a suit. Then my aunt looked over to a picture. And it was the man on the picture.
Absolutely not. No. I feel like that would be a cool experience, though.
Helped us put the chairs inside the funeral home.
That's terrifying. But, like, in a cool way.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable, but it's
I love this trend.
Every time I tell somebody this story, they have the most horrified look on their face. This happened when my son was about 5 months old. Him and I were sharing a room. Now, let me say this first. He was sleeping 8 hours completely through the night. I was getting enough sleep. I was sleeping the best I've ever slept currently, and he's a toddler right now. So this is not sleep deprivation. I want to say that first and foremost. And there are other people who were involved, so let's get into it. I was about to go to sleep for the night, and I was scrolling on my phone. And I'm at my parents' house, by the way, at this point. So I roll over in my bed with my phone to face the direction of my bedroom door, which I had kept open before all of this happened. I hear somebody walking up the stairs, which I assume is my brother because he had lived there too at the time. But he stops at the top of the stairs, and he kind of just like peeks into my room just a little bit, and I know it's him because it's like his face and his height and his hair, like he had an afro at the time. That was the outline of my brother. And so I look at him and I'm like, what are you doing? And he doesn't answer me, he just keeps staring at me. And I say again, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you just staring at me? At this point, because it's dark, I can only see the outline of him. Or it moves in front, like right center of my door. And it's just staring at me. And this all happened in 0.0005 seconds, okay? So as soon as I realized that is not my brother, I sit up in bed, like Jolt don't believe me. But I asked my mom to get one of her close friends, a close family friend, to come pray over my room because she's done that type of work for years. She goes and prays over people's houses to have spirits attached to them. So to her, it's just to like entertain me and make me feel safer. So the family friend comes over and she's like, I'm gonna go pray over your room and see what's going on. And I was like, perv. She goes up there, she's up there for like an hour, for a very, very, very long time. But who am I to judge? I don't do seances, you know what I mean? I don't know. To sum it up with you, when she did come back downstairs, she talked to my mom for a bit and then she leave. My mom told me that her friend told her that of all her years doing this, she's never walked into a room or a house and got instantly chills all over her body. And that's exactly what happened when she walked into my room. She said she prayed over it for that long amount of time. Whatever was there, it was gone. She rebuked it, I guess, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. But she said if it does come back, she like told me certain prayers to do to make it go away. My parents from that day forward are complete believers in the spiritual realm. I am as well. That was like so terrifying. I haven't seen it since.
That's horrifying. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think this is like a mimic situation? I'm saying mimic. We don't say the actual word over here. I think it was a mimic or something close to resembling a mimic. That's my thoughts.
So I came straight to the car to tell you on this one because I'm on my lunch break and we got 15 minutes. So biggest red flag. If the house or the apartment is cheap, almost too good to be true, it is. It's more than likely 9 times out of 10 haunted. Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you my story. And a lot of my followers have heard this from the beginning.
I did not know that.
I'm about 16 years old. Sorry if I'm out of breath. This is a very intense story. I was about 16 years old. I was working, going to school. I had 2 kids. I did apply for my first apartment because I'm like, if I'm gonna be responsible, I'm gonna go all the way. So I applied at these apartments that I saw that were kind of within budget, you know. Let me tell you how literally a day later, the manager called me and was like, bring me $100 for a deposit and you're in. You can move in today. Didn't even ask me for the first month's rent. I didn't even say I was 7
Only
years old.
100.
So I was like, say yes, I'm on my way. No furniture or living. And I went, gave the lady $100. She handed me over my keys. Didn't even ask me for the first month's rent again. Let me emphasize on that. And I was like, okay.
That's unusual.
Wasn't a lot because I was just my first apartment. I really didn't have any help. So, you know, first few days were okay. I met my friend over. She started staying with me because she was dating my brother at the time. So me and her were very close. And him and her would always come over just to spend time with each other. Sorry, I'm just eating. I'm on lunch. Now, tell me why one morning she comes to my room. I guess she got up early to cook breakfast, and she came to my room, and she looked like she had just new clothes. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, you have something in your apartment. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like,
absolutely not.
I'm like, you're joking. Yeah, okay. I'm like, what happened? She's like, I was cooking eggs, and when I tried to grab the salt, it literally moved out of my hand. And I'm like, girl, you're sure there's probably oil or something. Like, there's no way that could happen. Anyway, I brushed under the rug. Like, little small thing would happen. Like, one day we were all watching a movie in the living room, and something hits the back of the wall. Because, okay, so this is the living room wall, and there's a couch in front of it. I had a big old picture frame that was cut in 3, so I made one big picture frame. Now,
No.
That was weird. Mind you, we're all in the living room. Nobody's in the kids' room. So I'm just like, maybe something's going on. Again, my mind was just trying to find logic as to why these little things were happening.
That reminds me of a story I want to tell after this video.
Dating somebody, and he would, stay the night every so often. And I remember this one night we were arguing. He stayed the night, and we had our backs faced to each other. So my back was faced towards him, his was faced towards mine. So I'm facing the wall. Mind you, the wall that I'm facing has a big, like, long window. Like the window goes all the way to the floor. So I turn, and as soon as I turn, I see this silhouette of somebody standing there, and I'm just like, I am terrified. I don't want to move. I don't want to make too much noise because there's literally a man standing there. So I turn around, and I'm like, there's somebody right there. So my boyfriend at the time turns around. He's like, oh shit. He's like, we'll turn on the light, and I'm like, oh wait, first red flag. I should have known that. Anyways,
he made her go turn on the light? Yeah, no, he would have been out of there.
It's brand new. And when we turned on the light, my friends were moved like if somebody was standing there. They're brand new curtains. So I'm just like, that was weird. Every night before I would go to bed, I would close my closet door. So this is my bed. My bed's right here. Right in front of my bed there was a closet, like a small little walk-in closet. Every night I would close my closet door. Every time in the morning, it would be open. And I was just like, maybe the latch is loose. I would always try to make logical explanations for why little things would happen. Never thought anything of it till one day, my daughter, she was about 2 or 3 years old at the time. She woke up in the middle of the night screaming, panicking, and mind you, it was just me and my 2 little ones living there at the time. So I wake up, and in their room they have a tall one window, and it's long too. And it wasn't the greatest neighborhood, so I freaked out and I thought somebody was hurting her. I run to the room, and she's in the corner in the dark crying. She's like, Mama, and I'm like, what? She's like, tell the blue lady to get out. She bit me, and I'm like, what? I have lights, nobody's there. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, she had a nightmare. She's like, she bit my finger. I'm looking at her finger is red, like if somebody bit her or something bit her. So I'm like, maybe it was just a bad dream. Like, again, I put it off, and I had the 2 kids at the time. My daughter, the one that saw the blue lady, or had a dream about the blue lady, and my son, who was a year younger than her. He couldn't talk yet, but every time I would find him, he would be in the closet with the door closed and baby talking. Mind you, he wouldn't talk to nobody. He was a very, very silent kid. I'm trying not to do a purchase. I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. If y'all want any details, ask me after this. So I remember one day I was looking for him all over the place, all over the house, because I had the door open because I had made something to burn, and I let all the smoke go out of the house. So I left the door open, and my daughter and my son were sitting down on the couch looking at TV. I went to the restroom, and I came out, and my son was not there. So I'm like frantically looking for him. Cannot find him anywhere. Went outside. I'm about to call like the police. Like, where's my son at? And then I'm looking in their rooms. Nothing looking in my room. I can't find him anywhere. And I'm like, maybe someone came in and got him. Like, I don't know. And so I hear baby talk, and I follow the voice, and I find him in the closet. All the lights are off in my daughter's room, and there's no closet light.
I would have been out of there so fast.
In the closet corner, I think like if somebody was cradling him, and he's just there, just baby talking like happy, and I'm just like, what is going on? Okay,
what
so
the
then
heck?
it gets worse. So these little like incidents just keep getting worse and worse. My mom comes over one day, and I tell her, some weird stuff happening around the house. Everyone keeps saying she's seeing the blue lady. They keep talking about this blue lady. My son's doing some weird things, and she's like, oh, we'll settle this, So my mom goes to my daughter's room, and she's like baby talking. Like my daughter's 2, 3 at the time. My son was 1, she was 2, and my mom's telling her like, where's the blue lady at, baby? So my daughter goes in the room, and she's at her bed. My little toddler bed is literally like an inch, 2 inches from the floor, and she's like, right there, grandma, right there, pointing at her bed. So my mom, she goes and tells the pretends that she's telling the lady, get out of her room, get out of the room right now. And my mom says, yeah, baby, she's gone. She's not at the body anymore. My daughter turns around, and she's like, no, grandma, you're still there. And me and my mom said, oh, I'm out. And she's like, well, where? Show me. So my little toddler goes and lifts up her little toddler bed, and she's like, hers right there. And me and my mom are looking at each other like, oh my gosh. Okay, anyways. So I'm like, she had quite an imagination. My daughter was a very, very, very social kid. She talked a lot. So I was just like, maybe she has a imagination. I don't know. So let me fast forward. It's New Year's. We go to my boyfriend's parents' house, and we're there. It's like 12, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. I get this really gut feeling. I'm telling him, let's go. I want to go. And he's just, one more drink, and we'll go. And I'm just like, no, something don't feel right. Like, let's go. And so he's like, okay, fine, let's go. It's already 2 o'clock in the morning. So we head home. When we get home, my stuff, like my apartment was broken into. Everything was just flipped over, and it was ransacked. Oh my God. And I was just like, I knew that gut feeling was for a reason. So I called the cops, and they come over, and the cop is doing the report, and he's telling his hands like he was children. He's like, remember that story that I told you? He's like, it happened here. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what happened here? Me knows because I want to know too. What happened here? And then the cop goes, oh shit. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, nah, if I tell you, you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I'm sitting there like, now you gotta tell me because I'm living here. Like, what happened? And he's like, oh,
oh, I'm about to go find that. I'm about to go search for that part too. What do you mean? Oh, I remember that story happening. My bags would have been packed that night. I would have been out.
Right,
okay, I found it.
I'm actually freaked out right now because this is the 4th time I'm filming this. I'm actually having to use a different app to film this, and it's freaking me out. Okay, I don't know why, but I can't finish this.
That's never a good sign.
We're talking amongst themselves, and I'm over here just being nosy. And he's telling his partner, remember that story that I told you? It happened here. And his
Absolutely
partner's
not.
like, shit. And I'm over here like, no shit, what happened? And like, I can't tell you because if I tell you, you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So now I'm like, okay, you just triggered my anxiety. I have crippling anxiety. Now I'm gonna be overthinking like what happened. He's like, I can't tell you. And I'm sitting there thinking of ways to make this man tell me, and I'm like, well, before you go, can I ask you a question? He's like, I said, does it have anything to do with the lady? And he's like, maybe. And I said, I don't know, my daughter keeps saying she sees a blue lady. I kid you not, when I said that, his partner smacked him with the report papers and was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. When he said that, I was like, oh, now you gotta tell me. So his partner stormed out the house, and I was just looking at him like, he's like, look, I'm getting the chills. And I'm like, well, I want to get the chills too because I don't know what you're talking about. So he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell you, but you gotta show me first where your daughter sees this blue lady. And I'm like, okay. So I take him to the kid's room.
That's terrifying.
Where does he see her? Where does she see her? And I'm like, she always sees her in the corner of her bed.
This is like part of the reason I'm like scared to have kids too. It's like what if they just come up to me with like some ghost stuff? Like, oh, I saw like a ghost in my room. There's a monster under my bed. I'm not looking under your bed. Go find your dad.
And in this closet, I open the closet, and he looks so confused. My closet, and he's like, "Do you ever see anything in here?" And I'm like, "No, but weird shit does happen. Like I've seen like ghost people, like child people, and every day I wake up, my closet's open." He's like, "It's interesting that you say that." And he's like it opens right open. I'm like, "Yeah, but these friends are so ghetto. Like it's probably like Lucy, like girl, no." He's like, "Let me tell you what. I'm gonna tell you now." He's like, "Promise not to freak out." And I'm like, "I can't promise anything, sir."
Ooh.
So again, for some reason, it's deleted the other half. So he starts telling me, "I haven't been doing this long. I've been a police officer for 2 years. 2 years.
like terrifying.
I won't forget this case because those were my first major cases. And I'm like, okay, he's like, before you moved in here, which was less, he's like, this happened less than a year ago, actually. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and me, and my mom,
Oh, so it's fresh. Okay.
Why would they move somebody in when something just recently happened? That is insane. So I'm sitting there like confused as to why they would even offer me a place when something just happened and didn't even explain anything to me. So he's like, I got a call to show up to a crime scene. So I'm like,
that's gotta be somewhat illegal. Like, you should have to tell people, like, if bad things have happened in the home they're moving into.
okay. He's like, before you moved in, because my room and my kitchen were back to back. Now in between our rooms are closets. My closet and their closet. And he's like, before you moved in here, he's like, this wall right here wasn't here. He's like, you actually had one big walk-in closet. Oh, so I'm like, oh, so they used me too. So they gave me a haunted place and they used me with a closet, like, and make it so small, she cut it in half and put that wall there and made your kids' room. He's like, your kids' didn't have a closet. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I've recorded like 6 times and it keeps chopping off the part where I'm getting to it. It's weird. So he's like, where did I stop? I don't even remember this. I've just been recording over and over again. It's so frustrating. I don't know if something just doesn't want to let the world know. I told the story before. I don't know why I keep doing this, which is so weird.
That is so weird. I don't like that.
My lady lived here with her husband and 6 kids, and I'm like, okay. He's like, well, she found out that her husband was cheating. She found out he was cheating one day, and she confronted him when he came home. Now he flipped it on her, and when she confronted him, he told her, I'm leaving, and I'm taking kids. I no longer want to be with you. So he took the kids and took off.
Trigger warning if you're gonna watch this part of the video. There's just some like sensitive subjects, so if you don't want to deal with that, just skip to this time frame.
So she stayed home by herself, and she went to the closet, which was my closet now. There was a metal rod in there, and I'm just making sure that it's still recording, because I don't know, it's so weird. She got a belt and hung it up on there, and he said when I got to the crime scene, she was kind of sticking in, her feet were in the closet, her body was out. And I'm like, okay, he's like, but that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is she was a woman of color, but when he got to the crime scene, she was completely blue. She was blue. So when I'm sitting there telling him that my daughter's a blue lady, that's why he freaked out, because he's like,
oh my god, that's terrifying. That's horrible. Okay, wow. The little story I was gonna tell you guys that the part 1 reminded me of, when she was talking about like the pictures like swinging and falling off the wall, like, I don't know if hers fell off the wall, but that reminded me, I definitely told this story somewhere on here before, but like, apparently one night my sister had a nightmare that I died, right? I don't know why, but she woke up and she was like screaming. Everyone else in the house woke up. They were like, why is she screaming so loud? It's just a nightmare. Coincidentally, I was the only person that didn't wake up, but she was like screaming loud, like at the top of her lungs. Like, it's weird that I slept through that, because I'm like not the heaviest sleeper. Like every morning, like when my siblings are getting ready for school, like for example, I wake up to them being really, really loud, right? So the fact that I slept through like her screaming at the top of her lungs and like crying, and she was screaming my name too, so you'd think like I would have woke up to that, right? So they're all up and my parents are in her room, and then they just hear a loud bang downstairs. In our living room there was like 4 big picture frames with like a picture of me, my sister, my brother, and my other brother in each of the picture frames. Like we each had our own frame. So mine's on the top and then it's the other 3. Tell me why that loud bang, 3 in the morning, keep in mind this was at 3 in the morning, that loud bang was my picture falling off the wall after she had a nightmare about me dying and after I didn't wake up to her screaming. Like, it's just like, that could be a coincidence. Like maybe the thing holding it up was old and just it decided to fall off, but it's also like, you can't explain that all away to me. Like, what is that? Like, honestly, no. I don't want to know what it was. I just thought that was really creepy. Like that and the other story I told you, like I don't even know what's up with that. I'm gonna watch like a couple more of these videos and then we're gonna wrap this video up.
When I was around 9, 8 years old, I remember I was sleeping in the bed with my mom. And my mom kept on saying that she kind of felt that there was something outside that was probably like looking. At this point, it's around 1 o'clock in the morning. So she gets up out of bed and she turns on the light in the hallway space. Comes back to our bedroom window, looks outside. There is a man literally standing outside of the window looking inside.
Absolutely not. No.
I know this is kind of
Run
weird,
away.
but today something similar happened to us here. So I'm in the bathroom and the girls are like, oh, let's walk the dog because we were about to go out. So I was like, sure, go outside, walk the dog. And my older one is like, mom, mad sus that there's a car that like keeps on passing by.
Mad sus.
We're gonna go check it out because she's sass and all. The car keeps on passing by more than once. I think it was like 3 times. They come to the window and they start looking outside the window and the car passed by yet another 2 or 3 times. When I finally come outside, I go outside and the car is nowhere to be found. Car never passed by again. So when we finally get ready that we're like heading out, there is a blue balloon randomly right in front of our door. And it's maybe nothing.
That's Pennywise's friend. No.
On Tumblr. And if you've ever read the story, let me get the story time. When I was around 9.
Wait, I want to know the story. Now I'm gonna look up the story. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, no, we're not watching this.
Alone and blows balloons. Sometimes he fills them with small stones or flowers. Unfortunately, they need a soul to float.
No, it's giving you'll float too.
If a young person is walking home, they might meet him. But that balloon is a target, and at any time he'll collect his prize.
I'm gonna be honest with you, champ. Your mother and I think it's a little weird how attached you are with this balloon.
No.
Okay.
No.
Good night.
Absolutely not. Do not look at me like that.
Balloon man.
Oh!
Hey, champ. Remember your old Teddy?
never fails.
Danny?
No. Okay, I think that pretty much sums it up. What the hell? All right, well, I think that's where we're gonna wrap up today's video. I just shat myself. That was scary. Comment down below which story was your favorite, or better yet, if you have a story of your own that you want to share, please comment them down below. I don't know, if you guys want me to read them for a video, I will, if I get enough, but like, I just like reading them. Like, I like reading scary stories. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video and you want to see more scary videos, I'm posting Halloween content all week long, so make sure you like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss out. Go follow me on everything else. It's all at avamerceis. And yeah, that is all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you want more spooky videos even after Halloween. All right, I love you guys. Bye.